Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
Are you a writer, inventor? Do you have questions about your intellectual property rights? Well, tune in every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 o'clock for Joy on Paper. Once a month, I will have a special guest, the writer's legal eagle, Bill Larson of Larson & Larson, who can answer your questions. Protect your valuable work. Email me your questions to patsy.radio@gmail.com and then listen in every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network. That's patsy.radio@gmail.com.
You may be owed some money. After 911 and 411, call 541. That's 727-541-1741. Call Gulfstream Motorsports for a diminished value report. Due to my 28 years experience in the auto salvage business, I'm very good with wrecks. So if your car's been involved in a wreck, call me for a diminished value report. Call 727-541-1741. You may be owed some money for the lost value of your repaired vehicle. And visit us at GulfstreamMotorsports.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers Radio with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned in steamy Florida. It is very steamy. What do you think about that, Ed?
Well, I was just looking, it got dark out, and I thought I heard a rumble.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So, yeah.
That's good.
It's just we missed that. We're kind of late with that afternoon stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually by about now. You set your watch, it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, I just heard thunder just now.
Yeah, so we're just kind of, and we missed that because that kind of cools everything off.
Yeah.
For a half hour.
Yeah. Creates the steam bath for everybody.
So with me is my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not sidekick, Lynn Thornley.
Good afternoon. We talked about the weather, so I'll just say Happy National French Fry Day.
Today's Happy National French Fry Day. I have to tell you, I went out to lunch one day last week, and I had a sandwich or something that came with the fries. And I didn't eat the fries, but I brought them home and I put them in that little air fryer.
Yeah, that air fryer, yours I like.
Oh my goodness.
That little drawer.
It was so delicious. And I have this like silicone thing you put in there and you put the fries in there. So there's nothing to wash. You just take the silicone thing out, throw it in the sink.
Do you use your crimper yet?
No, not. Oh yes, the crimper I use. I didn't get the shredder.
I haven't used the crimper yet.
My grandson and I did it together. It was kind of cool.
I haven't found anything to put in it.
Well, we'd made like breakfast stuff, so we put like scrambled eggs and bacon and cheese, whatever.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Yeah, it was good. It crimped well.
Yeah.
I think I would like the one you have because I'm a microwave. I mean, I've lived in my house 10, 12 years. I've never had the oven on except when someone came over and I was warming pizza. I don't use the stove except for an omelet once in a blue moon. But I like that. I like it because when we go out to eat, what I do is I eat my food and I eat the French fries and then I can't eat my food because I can't take them home.
Right.
But you can.
Yes. And the sandwich, if you have like a half a sandwich, you kind of like toast it in there.
Oh, I have to get one.
Yes, we'll have to talk
I'll
about that.
have to have the name of that along with my vacuum
it was
cleaner.
cheap too. It was like at Walmart for like, I don't know, $30 or something crazy. So I'll let you know. Well, I want to give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Shelly in Clearwater. We have Chrissy in Largo. And we have Sheena in Dunedin.
Welcome, ladies.
Like I always say, there's plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for new listeners, whether you listen when we're on the radio or online or on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. We're just here to bring you help and hope because we know that your caregiving journey is not easy. And we just want to help you out with resources and to know that you're not alone. I did a support group this morning. I did a support group Wednesday night. And what makes me so sad is the number one complaint of caregivers is what happened to my family, my friends, and my church. The lights just flickered. It's so very sad. And for you people that are listening out there that you feel uncomfortable going to visit someone because they have Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, cancer, I don't care what it is, get over it. Get over it. Because someday you might be in that position, and what if nobody ever came to see you? Especially your family and friends. I find that some people are luckier getting people that they don't know that well coming to see them than people that have known them forever. And I was thinking about that last night. Well, maybe that's because they didn't know the person before. So there's no like loss for them. They just met the person when they're already in whatever condition they're in. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's something to think about. But really do that, please. I think the most important thing is for your loved one to have some connection and you to have some kind of socialization. And like I say, sometimes people come to visit and they really don't know what to talk about. So just print out some photos. You know, if your husband was born in Brooklyn, print out some photos of Brooklyn. You can have that conversation. You can have some conversation about New York pizza or something like that.
Or you can just sit with them.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just sitting with them too, watching a TV show.
That's it.
Or something like that. Just to have something and to let the caregiver just breathe for a half hour. You know, maybe you can just come over to your friend's house and watch a movie together or something and just let the caregiver just go in the other room and just sit by themselves and not have to answer any questions and not have to pick anything up and not have to serve any food, you know, or whatever it is. Because I don't think a lot of people realize how involved it is being a caregiver. Because unless you've done it, you don't really understand it.
No, you don't.
Because it's 24/7. Even if your caregiver, even if your loved one is pretty functioning or whatever, they're still fragile. And whatever their condition is, they're still fragile. And you want to be careful that they're not going to fall and get hurt, that they're not going to eat something they're not supposed to be eating. You know, there's a guy.
And you don't sleep.
No,
because you're so afraid they're going to get up and wander.
Yeah. So it's difficult. It's difficult. So I want you people to be aware of that. And if you're somebody like from out of town and you can't come to visit the person, maybe you can just send some money. So then the caregiver can maybe get a little respite care, get a home health care company in to help them, or maybe just take that money and go get a massage. So think about that. So we have our first guest just calling into the show, Jeanette Yates. Hello, my friend.
Hello. So sorry. I'm a couple minutes behind.
No floggings here.
Don't know how to use the phone, apparently. But anyway, I'm here. I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go.
How are you today? Good?
I'm great. It's been a great day.
It is a great day.
Yeah.
So Jeanette was part of our last Connecting Caregivers conference. So I guess we probably met now maybe like 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, time flies. And I love everything you're doing. And I'm not going to read a whole bunch of stuff. I just want you to tell our listeners a little about you and your background and how you got to be doing what you're doing.
Okay, so I'll try to sum up 40 years of caregiving in just a couple minutes. But my mom was diagnosed with her first of several illnesses when in 1984. I was 9 years old. And I became a caregiver in some ways when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
And over the course of her life, which was longer than anyone expected, but still too short for me. She passed away last year.
Wow.
I was her right-hand girl. You know, I was her.
You were her right hand.
Yeah, I was her arms, her legs. You know, she had them, but they just didn't work very well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a stepfather for, you know, the entire time I was living at home. But he had a job and sometimes multiple jobs, and he had his own stuff that he was dealing with, you know, emotionally and everything too. So by default, I just became the caregiver, you know, in the way. Now, sometimes due to my mom's illness, sometimes she was able to walk unassisted. Sometimes she had to use a cane. Sometimes she had to do a walker. Sometimes she had to use a wheelchair. Sometimes she couldn't even do that. So depending on the season of life and the
journey,
what was going on with her disease, she was either not able to work, almost completely disabled, or able to go to work, use a wheelchair van, get to work, that kind of stuff. It just kind of depended. But I was always there with her, like by her side. So, and then of course my stepdad and mom divorced after I was an adult, but that brought it to that point where now she's single and she's getting older.
Right.
And her disease was progressing. And so that's when, it's like 2005 is when
real reality sets in.
And then 2009 she gets diagnosed with breast cancer, which throws off everything else with all the other problems. And then from there, it was just a slow wind down for the next until she passed away last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my caregiving story.
Everybody's got a story and you don't realize it. But I think in sharing your story, so many other people that are going through the same thing are like, okay, it's not just me. Okay, she made it and I can make it. She sounds like she's okay.
So my mom, most of the time, was cognitively aware and physically able enough to share her own health journey on Facebook.
Okay.
So she connected with a lot of people that way because she couldn't really go about doing things like you and I can. And so as she was sharing her health journey, at some point I decided especially when things started heating up or ramping up, that I had my own story to tell that was different from hers.
Right.
And so I started sharing my caregiving journey, not in any kind of organized, scheduled, glamorous or polished way, but just, usually I would take a picture of myself looking exhausted and post that with a caption of some sort.
Yeah.
And then about 3.5 years ago, I decided to take a step more into helping other caregivers.
Yeah.
Because I was getting the DMs, the emails, the things like that, people wanting to talk to me, people wanting advice and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, why don't I do
create
something?
A platform,
create a platform. And so that's what I did. That's what the Self-Caregiver is. It's the name of my LLC. But really, when I started it, it was all about helping people understand burnout and what self-care actually means, and not the way that most people talk about it.
Right.
Because any caregiver doesn't really like to hear those words. It makes them mad almost. And I felt the same way. And I didn't feel like there were many people, I found some since then, but I didn't feel like there were many people at the time that were talking about the reality and the ugly part of caregiving. It all was super inspirational. And
like a Hallmark movie.
Like the idealized,
which is not true.
Right. And while I had a sweet moment every day, I probably could have shared if I looked hard enough. Most of the days, especially the last 5 years of her life, were
not so sweet.
Crawling on broken glass.
Yeah.
And so I started sharing my story in a more, blogging, doing YouTube videos, doing Instagram stuff, and then I would work with caregivers individually or in small groups where I would talk a little bit and help them understand their own burnout a little bit better. Because that's another thing. I think we all burn out kind of differently.
Yes.
And we all get out of, we
got to
burnout differently. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and then recently, just because I've been noticing such a drastic and fast-paced increase in the use of AI technologies in the caregiving and aging space.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I'd actually worked in technology. It was one of the jobs I had. I worked for a tech company, and so I learned a lot about technology and marketing and the difference between what it looks on the outside and what it looks like on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and privacy and safety and compliance and all of those things. And I thought, you know what, we're inundated with AI, but we don't really understand it.
Right.
And we don't really understand
how it can help us or how to use it.
how it can help us, but also how to make sure that we're actually using a tool that is helping us, not just making things more complicated, right?
Yeah.
And then I also thought, because I had a tech background that was also based out in marketing, I thought I could also talk to the tech companies and say, you've created a great tool, but it's too hard to use, so caregivers aren't going to use it.
Right.
Or it doesn't have the right safety precautions, or, this is too complicated, or takes too many steps, or this is too confusing, and just kind of give them some insight from a caregiver's perspective. Like, even the most tech savvy of us, which not a lot of us are,
right,
when we're trying to use a tool to help with caregiving, is probably not when we're our most well rested and
exactly.
thoughtful.
So how was their response to that?
Well, what's been very surprising to me, I just started this like in December, where I started doing that, and a lot of the companies are reaching out to me and saying, yeah, we want to understand more. A lot of them are well-intentioned,
yes,
but they realize they're coming from a tech background, and they may, have a grandma that they know or something.
But they're not
they're not in the loop. They haven't experienced that burnout. They haven't experienced,
24/7 care.
Yeah, right. And so opening their eyes to, the difference between using tech language versus everyday language when describing your tool or something like that. And so they really appreciate the insights, which I think is comforting to me, to know that there are people with good intentions that want to help caregivers.
Yeah, that
They're
care.
just trying to figure out the right way. Right.
Right.
And so that response has been really great. And then, I do things like your conference, where I talk to caregivers about how to make the right choice when looking at all these tools that are just flying in their Facebook and Instagram feeds. And they're getting ads and emails and all this. Like, how to know.
Because sometimes they get so overwhelming, then they do nothing.
Right. And like, how many times are you going to download an app and then it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get sick
or
of that.
It's hard.
And say, forget it. Yeah. Yeah. And so I've also had a really great response to those types of conversations that I've had with caregivers. It's like, oh, this isn't, breaking it down like this makes it less overwhelming. And so I think that's been really encouraging to me. And I really am enjoying seeing the ways that technology can step in. I'm a big advocate, though, for technology not replacing care.
Right.
So I really
being
want
a tool that helps you.
Yeah. Right. But it can replace, or not even replace, but it can support or
partner with
things in a way, or partner with, but not, I don't need somebody else to, hold my mom's hand or, talk to my mother.
Right.
What I need is somebody to do these other things so that I can do that. Right.
Yeah. So that you get to be the daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what happens with caregivers. We get so involved that we lose our own identities. And we're just like, oh, yeah, I'm a caregiver, or I'm a caretaker, or I'm a whatever. And you don't realize that.
I used to, go over to my mom. She lived about 3 minutes away. And, she didn't need to be living there. She needed to be, living somewhere else. But that, she was adamant to stay there. So I would go and I would have to do all the things. The list was so long, right? So I'm doing this and doing that and XYZ. And then I would get ready to leave. And she's like, well, don't you want to sit down for a visit? And I'd be like, I've been here forever already. I've got kids. I've got work. I've got, whatever.
I'm tired too.
And I'm tired. And then, it started to hit me. She needs me to do these things, these caregiving things.
Right.
But she also needs companionship and a daughter.
Yeah.
And, I learned sometimes by using technology, sometimes by just, calling a friend and saying, can you bring dinner? But I use, support and help to give me more time so that I could do the visit without being exhausted with it,
So how can caregivers work with you and contact you, and how can you help them?
Well, so on my website, JeanetteYates.com, you can also go to the selfcaregiver.com if it's easier, because
I'll put all the information in the
Yeah.
show. Go ahead.
But if they just go to my website, they can contact me. There's a contact form on the website.
Mm-hmm.
It comes straight to my email, and nobody else sees it but me. And I can, if somebody wants to have, me do a talk with them, or, maybe they have a few friends, or maybe they're in some sort of group, I can do that. If they want me to basically do a one-on-one, kind of teach me some technology, I have, some ways I can do that as well. So that's,
and you can
really
do it either
easy.
in person or in Zoom.
Yeah, depending on their location.
Right.
I am in Florida, like you.
Yeah.
So I don't mind a little travel.
Yeah, me either.
I don't mind getting in the car and driving a little ways, especially when it comes to, meeting a caregiver where they are, right?
Yeah.
And it can be, and sometimes Zoom fatigue is a real thing that we have. And
if it's too hard, they just won't do it. They just won't do it.
Right. And they shouldn't have to. And I tell caregivers all the time, I think I said this at the conference, is if you can't use the tool, it's not your fault. It's the tool's fault. They're supposed to make it easy for you to use and explain how to use it. That's the team's job.
Yeah.
That's their job. It's not your job to become a tech expert.
Exactly.
To be able to care for your loved one. And I think marketing wise and customer wise, we as a group can push back on this stuff that they're saying, no, you have, because we have to do that. Every single one of us has to log into a portal.
Yep.
Talk to our doctors.
Yep.
We got no choice in the matter.
You can't do anything without the phone and without apps, without anything.
I don't
But when
like
it
it.
comes,
Yeah.
But when it comes to us, downloading some kind of care tech app or downloading an app to help us take care of our loved one, we do have a choice in that matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can push back and say, no, it's too hard to use. I'm not going to use it.
Exactly.
Which I wish we could say with the portals.
Yeah. All right, my friend, we're going to wrap it up here. And once again, where can our listeners find you?
JeanetteYates.com. And I'm also everywhere. Jeanette Yates, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
Okay. And your website also is the selfcaregiver.com.
Yeah, both of the JeanetteYates.com and the selfcaregiver.com will get you to the same place.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's wonderful talking to you again.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Have a delicious day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality care.
Yep. And we're back. So we just got a little thunder and lightning here. A little bit hitting the station.
I know, it's scary.
All of a sudden, I mean, we're complaining we want some rain. Oh, we really got
This
it.
was real.
So I'm hoping our second caller will be able to call in. We'll just take it as it goes, because you never know. You never know. But once again, as I was saying earlier today, get yourself in a support group. It doesn't have to be a live support group. There are plenty of support groups that are online. And even if you just go and just listen, you don't have to say anything. You just go listen. I'm sure you'll learn something and you'll realize you're not alone. And like I say, sometimes in a support group, the conversation is just like, who's the best neurologist in town? Or how do you handle this situation? Because you're speaking to people that are in the same situation as you, so they can understand that. So how are we doing, Ed? Going? Oh, something's going on here. Let's see. Okay. Go. We're on the air. So I don't know what's exactly going on with that. I think we have our caller calling in right now. Okay, let's see how it goes. We're having a couple of blinking lights here and stuff. Let's try
I wonder
again.
if you're getting this ring.
I wonder. Okay. So, Jacqueline, if you can hear us on the radio, just give us a minute or two. We're trying to get this back up because
that was quite a storm.
We have some thunder and lightning going on here. So, let's see.
And hopefully I hope I'm getting it. I hope you're getting it.
Well, I had to get some new plants yesterday because my plants were just like suffocated.
No, they can't. They can't
survive. And I water them like twice a day.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But you know what that lady said to me when I went to Home Depot yesterday? I said, yeah, I had to get some new plants because some of my plants were fried. She goes, well, if you keep the tag and the receipt and your plants get fried.
You can bring them back.
Who would do that?
Oh, I know a lot of people.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, because I think the plant gets fried because you didn't take proper care of it.
Oh. Home Depot has that. I always throw the receipt at it as I well. Oh no, I know people who took shows back after a year.
Oh my God. I was shocked. I don't know how that can happen.
I remember Joe Cuglanese took back a hose to Sears after 20 years.
A hose?
Yeah. Because they had a lifetime guarantee on it.
People are ballsy. Well, my brother used to press all the time.
Oh, your brother.
Just buy stuff, use it, and take. And I can't tell you how